Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to Real Talk episode number 17. This is the 29th of January, 2021, and we shall wait for SoSharp David, and then we will get the show started. I hope you're all doing well. Hey, Daniel. Hey, Thirsty Badger. Jared. Good to see you, Daniel and Jared. A's back. Good to see you. Hey, Pastors. Hope that's Leon. Never met Leon. Sometime I certainly will. Alfie, hey Kim, good to see you. Thank you for the blades, Kim. I got those today. Magic Mike, hello. Sefferton, hello. BBS Live. Hey, BBS Live, check it out, y'all. A little coffee because I'm tired. Hey, Chris, Glenn. Hope you all are doing great. All right, let me see if I can get David on here. Hopefully I can. Just a moment, please. Out there. Yeah, I know it was you, Chris. Hey. Hello.
How's it going, Chris?
Doing pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
We didn't know whether you were going to make it tonight.
Oh, no, I'm good. I'm good to go.
Were you napping?
No, just chilling, watching some
Okay.
TV, playing a little games on my phone.
Okay. So to start off the show, I know you've had some family health issues there. Is everybody doing well? I know you've had the Rona visit your home, sadly.
Yeah, well, Rocio is just about back to normal. Some of that lingering throat stuff, a little bit of an itchy throat, but aside from that, she's good to go. My daughter just started having symptoms. Well, not just started. She started having symptoms on Sunday. So she's Sunday night. So she's in day 5. And it seems to be hitting her a bit harder than Rocio, but all in all, she's doing well. She's not known, seem to be even close to needing to be hospitalized or anything like that. If we could keep it where it's at right now, it's going to be a good situation.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, and I hope they both recover well. I saw Ro earlier on the video, so that was good. She looked like she's recovering, and we wish your daughter well. I had a scare this evening myself. My mother-in-law had to go to the emergency room. She's been undergoing chemotherapy, and some of her, she had some issues, but fortunately everything checked out. But she was told to go, and fingers crossed and prayers going up and blessings hopefully coming down. So
Absolutely.
there's a lot of people right now with the illness in their families on, myself included. So, I try to send the prayers up so the blessings come down, or at least I hope so. So we won't, put a wet blanket on the whole show, but I think it's important to sort of recognize those sort of things. What's your drink for the evening?
Just plain old water, man. I'm a little paranoid with the Rona floating around. I don't really want to put nothing in my body that can possibly lower my immune system. So I stayed off the alcohol. Haven't been smoking no cigars or anything for the past, 9 days or so. So just plain old H2O.
In the BBS Live mug here, we have just coffee, and there's some whiskey, of course, in it, because I just didn't want straight coffee. I'm a little tired, so I wanted something a little, I didn't want something that's going to take me down too far. So the alcohol, slight depressant, but the caffeine a little upper, so, we balance it out this evening.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I've got to ask you a question. This is a hard-hitting question. How does it feel to be responsible for the imminent demise of Junior? Because every time you buy a honing stone, Junior has to buy 12 honing stones in response.
Oh, man. Pretty soon he's going to be homeless. His wife's going to kick him out because there's no way she's going to put up with his buying habits. His buying habits make me blush. So I could only imagine when she actually finds out what's going on, there's going to be hell to pay. And Junior, I'm sorry if I have anything to do with that. I have a couch you can sleep on, but it's going to be tough times ahead once she finds out what you've been doing.
Yeah, seriously, every time that you buy a stone, like the day that you found out that you were getting a stone for your birthday, Junior's like, I got to have a bigger Azuku. Oh, yeah, let's see the stone.
That
Turn
is
it the other way.
nice and beautiful. Just
That looks a lot like the one I have. Very nice.
Super smooth. That nice little skin on the back. I already got it sealed up, so it's nice and shiny. Beautiful stuff, man.
Yeah, that's a
Yes.
good looking stone. And the moment that you announced you got that, Junior was like, I have a little Azuku, but now I have to have a larger stone. So, you
Not to
know,
mention, right before that, he had got a Nakayama. There was a big boy too, a big thick motherfucker, and he just neglected the fact that he had that stone sitting there. And yeah,
yeah, I think it's a tough situation where you're going to have to quit buying stones just to make sure that Junior doesn't get thrown out of his house.
I'm gonna have to make that sacrifice, and I'm willing to.
Good, good. You're a good man. One of the things I was thinking about over the last couple of weeks, I always hear people talk about post shave, post shave, post shave as it applies to software, like the soap and so on and so forth. But I never hear anybody talk about post shave in terms of their choices in the razor, in the brush, in the blade. If you don't have a good shave, in my opinion, all that emphasis on the moisturizing after, isn't going to make all that much difference if you got a raggedy shave, So it seems like the emphasis now on all things are post shave, post shave, post shave, and getting maximum amount of skin food and elixirs and oil of Olay make you look younger too stuff in the shaving soaps. And not too many people are focusing on just good technical shaving, making good choices, picking things that work for you. What do you think about that?
Well, because that's not a fun conversation, Chris. Nobody nobody wants to talk about Old Faithful. Nobody wants to talk about that 1998 Toyota Camry that you got sitting in the driveway that has 400,000 miles and still keeps on going. It's not fun. It's not sexy. It's not exciting. So with all this fucking hoopla about all the new bases and all the new so on and so forth, that's the fun conversation. People like to debate that shit. A 200-year-old waiting butcher. It's the same 200-year waiting butcher that it has been for 200 years. So, people want to talk about what's new, what's next, what's exciting, and
Good
all that
point.
other stuff is going to go by the wayside.
Oh, well, that's excellent math on your part, where the 200-year-old razor is 200 years old. Big thumbs up on that. Yeah, I just think it's one of those things where really, if you shave well, from my perspective, that's going to contribute a lot to your face feeling great after the shave, and also the software and all that too. But getting the technique down, learning what your skin likes and doesn't like, you can go too far. In fact, we'll get right into the next question. Do you think? And by the way, I did some homework this week, and I talked to a number of artisans who I won't mention, but I'm going to ask you the question. Do you think in some cases we might be pushing the envelope on getting too many oils, butters, skin conditioners, super blue emu, dragon tallow, chupacabra oil, unicorn milk, and all these things? Do you think we're reaching that point where we might be hitting the point where maybe you can't do much more? I don't know, your thoughts.
Well, there's always going to be a new ingredient that people are going to find that does X, Y, and Z for your skin. The big determinant for me on that is price. Stop adding all this bullshit if you're going to charge me more and more money for, I what we had 8 years ago was more than good enough. So is the stuff now better? Absolutely. Do I need it to be much better than what it is now? No. And I don't plan on paying $30 a tub for soap just because you found out that tarantula placenta fucking makes my skin softer. I'm not interested in that shit.
Well, in my informal investigation this week, I spoke to different soap makers that sort of do things different way. Old soap maker, well, all of them are very well experienced. And I asked them flatly, is it possible to go too far in that realm? And all of them said yes. You can push it too far where it begins to affect the latherability of the soap and the long-term longevity of the soap, because the more certain types of oil, certain types of tallow, the likelihood of it going rancid, especially without a bunch of preservatives. And look, we know we all have people who are like, I got to have natural stuff in my soap. If you have to put a bunch of preservatives in a soap to make sure the natural stuff stays good longer, then is it all that natural?
But in other words, essentially, let me say, they told me, yes, you can go too far with the oils and butters. And yes, there's a point where even it can be not good for your sink and your pipes, putting that soap down it and then it hardening up. And so most of them seem to think there's a fair ratio which you can hit, but once you push beyond that, it's probably no longer helpful. But I think I see more and more and more, how many oils and butters can we fit into soap, or how many can we put on the label? And for me, I'm really stopping paying attention to that, because I just don't, I'm at the point now where everything works for the most part great in terms of, 99% of the products. I just don't know that we need much more. Although if they can eat more out of it and make a better product, then hey, go with it.
Yeah, and again, I don't know the process of it, but I do believe that if they go too overboard with the amount of butters, that it'll start doing some type of separation. So they definitely can't allow it to get like that, to where you have like oil sitting on top of the damn soap. But again, they're also just fucking screwing us, because they're putting probably a negligible amount of a certain ingredient that they're saying that's the reason why it's $5 more than the last batch. And it just, I don't care. Like, something that I noticed that with bases are getting more expensive is with that Tussa silk shit. It's usually like the last goddamn ingredient. So I'm paying $3-4 more for this damn soap for Tussa silk, and it's the last ingredient. That doesn't interest me whatsoever. Again, there's still going to be, I don't pay attention to everything that's in the base much, but again, I like goat's milk, I like cocoa butter, and I like mango butter. If those are in the damn ingredient list, that makes me happy. All that other bullshit, the 75th item on that list, I don't give a shit about.
Yeah, some of the soap makers also told me that at a certain point, if it's not at least, say 5% of the ingredients, they don't really feel that it's really worthy of putting on a label. It's so little and minute at that point that it doesn't really make a difference. So, I'm certainly not here to tell anybody how to make soap, because I don't know how to make soap myself. But I'm keeping an eye on all these oils and butters, and I'm sort of watching what goes on. And honestly, I got soaps 10 years old that still work great, and the soaps today are great as well. Arguably better. Some are, some maybe not, but I don't know. It'll just be interesting to follow and see what happens. Got to ask you about honing. What have you changed, like something that you did early on that you were pretty confident that was working well, that you've changed, just something that you started doing and then you said, you know what, I'm not getting a very good result with this, and you did something completely different?
For me, it was actually, it's more of a, I have found other things that work better. For me, and I tested it on a few razors today. I've been treating my synthetic stones very similar to a JNAT, in terms of building up a slurry and gradually watering down that slurry. That's something that I felt on a full synthetic edge I did today. I did an edge today that was full synthetic all the way up to the Suhiro 15K, but treating each stone as if I was working off of a JNAT. That edge today was amazing, and I can't wait. I'm probably going to shave with it probably tomorrow on a live shave and lather and blade, but it was phenomenal. And that's something that I added to the repertoire, paying a little bit more attention to that slurry that I'm building up on synthetic stones.
Excellent. I think for me, it was easing up on the pressure, not doing as much, and also not only easing up on the pressure, but instead of doing a ton of half strokes, really trying to work on doing more soft X strokes and just finesse instead of brute force. And I think for me, when I started doing that, it got better and it was easier. Initially, I was doing lots of half strokes and probably using too much pressure, and the edges felt very, very toothy, I think, as a result. And now with not spending too much time on stones as well has helped me personally.
I agree with you with that. That is I think we've had this conversation before off camera, obviously. But yeah, I think that we were overhoned, especially on that bevel set for me. Yeah. I was putting so much pressure and putting so much work into the bevel set that I think I was probably just crumbling up my edge, because it felt like it took forever to get it to cut some hair. It just didn't feel right. And I was taking an hour to set a bevel. Now, 15, 20 minutes, my bevel's set. It's cutting hair already. And yeah, so it was just, we were doing all that extra work for no good reason.
Right, right. I agree. I think sometimes less is more. And if your result at the end isn't quite what you want it to be, you can always go back and work on it. But if you push beyond that point, it probably creates more work for you, I think.
I agree. I do agree with that.
So the next subject, there's no way for me not to talk about this. We got to talk about gentleman's knob. And let me say at the onset, because I got to explain some things. This scent for me is fantastic. The Zahara fragrances, top notch. I love them. David can vouch for me when I tell you that this soap right here, I recommended many, many times. I argued with David and Junior about how much I liked it because Junior said earlier on, I don't like the base. I don't think it's very good. And he also said the scent was low. Remember about 2 weeks ago on this. And I said, no, mine is at least medium high. And we argued about this. And I said, and you know me, I'm a price conscious guy when it comes to software. I said, I don't care how much this cost. I loved it so much. It was one of my top soaps. So I just wanted to make that clear because I love this soap. I loved Kanpai. And I also want to make clear that I don't want to dissuade anybody from using Gentleman's Nod. If you love Gentleman's Nod, that is okay. Me having a bad experience one time with the base doesn't mean that you should take personal offense from it. I don't mean any offense from it. But what happens, happens, and that's what I show on my channel. And it just so happened that this soap and Kanpai, which were in the Cardinal base, worked great for me, no problems. With this soap, it did not lather to my satisfaction in the same way that this one did, same base. I don't know the reason. I think I could have handled it better in terms of explaining how that went. And when I made the second video, the purpose of that video was to say, hey, I did get it to lather. But I had to use a lot more product. The response to it, I didn't really care much for because what I saw in the comments initially was Gentleman's Nod saying, we've received no complaints. To which you could read the comments and see people saying, that didn't work great for me. You know, there were at least 10, 15 comments in the thread going, this doesn't work well for me. And then people got upset as if I was trying to, you know, hurt the brand. I don't want to hurt the brand. Please, if you love Zaharoff and Gentleman's Nod, please go buy it. But I didn't have a great run with it. And then their response to it, as far as I'm concerned, wasn't that of a luxury sort of product. You know, it wasn't a luxury response. We sort of went back and forth over sending this back. And they sent me a label, and I said, okay, when you send me the replacement, I'll pop the tub in the box, I'll slap the label on and send it back to you. And then they came back and said, no, we want you to send that to us first. We'll investigate and then send you one. And I was like, well, I've never had to do that before. You know, PAA, Peter, anybody who I've ever had a problem with, they just send the tub, I send the old one back if they want it back. And I've never had to send something back in advance. And so eventually I said, you know what? I'm just going to scoop out about a quarter of this tub, which I did, and I sent it back to them. And I wrote them an email, and I just said, look, I'm not very happy with the response. It is a great fragrance. The experience that I had with this was first rate, absolute first rate. I can't recommend it highly enough. But the service and my experience with this was not great. I'm not telling anybody else not to buy it. I'm not asking you not to buy it. I'm saying one guy didn't have a great experience. And I also want to say it because I want to make sure that everybody understands something. I shave 11 times per week, every single week. That is 7 face shaves and 4 head shaves every week. If you do the math on that, that's 572 shaves a year. I took maybe 20 shaves off last year from camping and traveling. I had 3 products, all of the last calendar year that didn't work well for me in terms of lathering, this being one. 3 products, that's 99.45% of the time I had a great experience with products from all over the world of all ranges. So the idea that I would deliberately try to hurt any product is just preposterous. And it's one of those things that it bummed me out, to be honest with you. And what I do works 99.45% of the time. So if this soap falls outside of that 99.45, that's okay. It's no big deal. We can move forward. But the response I didn't like, and I just wanted to make that clear. Your thoughts?
Well, first, just an opinion on how you handled the situation. First off, the proof is in the pudding. They're watching what you're doing on video. You don't do jump cuts. I don't even know how to sabotage a soap that would make it fucking lather shitty like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just so fucking strange that people have that they're so short-sighted and have that short-term memory that they don't even remember the fact that you've given them good reviews in the past.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Most artisans have an understanding that we're going to say what we want about soaps.
Mm-hmm.
And whether they give it to us or not, that's just going to be the case. So you're going to have to take it what we give. Most of the time, us reviewers are giving positive remarks, and they are reaping the benefit from it. They make the money. When you do a good review on one of these soaps, that puts a bunch of money in these guys' pockets. But it's their responsibility to continue to produce a quality product and have quality customer service. Again, if you're going to be luxury, you have to be luxury all the time. You can't have a luxury price and have 99-cent store customer service.
Right.
When you buy from a premium company, I'll go for it.
Just to finish it off, I wrote them in the email. I told them I was not happy with the response. However, I would explain that I don't want anybody to avoid gentleman's nod. This was just my experience. And I went on to say that I accepted responsibility for not using as much product the first time around, and that I could have done things better, but I also thought they could have done things better. I did not get a response back. That was about 1 o'clock yesterday. So, I mean, that's pretty much the end of it. I just wanted to clear that up for everybody. But please, if you love Gentleman's Nod, keep on loving them. Me having one bad experience doesn't mean I hate you nor Gentleman's Nod. Okay, next subject. Let's see. I'm the one calling the subject. Okay. So changing dramatically directions. Cold River Soapworks. Larry is back. Well, actually, Larry didn't go anywhere. A lot of us went somewhere, or we didn't go to Larry. And I got to say, I used this week, and I was like, I don't know why I haven't been buying Cold River Soapworks for a while. I mean, this is really good. Have you tried this one? I can't remember.
I have tried Glide recently. It was about maybe 2 weeks ago. Great soap. Great.
So I used this, and it's been a while. So, I mean, I've used some of the old Cold River Soapworks, but I haven't used the Cold River Soapworks soap, a new one, for, I don't know, probably a couple of years. And I used this the other day, and it was just so easy. No fuss, no muss. The scent was great. Everything about it was great. So I picked up the phone, and I called Larry, and I was like, hey, you know, I haven't bought anything for a while. What's going on? And he said, essentially, Larry said his wife had some health issues. She's recovering. You still there? Or did I lose David? Anyway, I'll go on with Larry's story while we try to get David back. There you are. You're back. Okay. Anyway, his wife had a procedure. She helps him a lot with his business, and he's not able to make the batches that he used to be because his wife's not able to do the part she was doing. And so that's why the volume of what he's been producing has been lower. And also, I just think that people haven't been using this as much because you don't see it as much on YouTube or in the Facebook or Instagram or maybe some of the forums. But I'm telling you, this soap right here is worthy of looking at if you've never used it before, or even if you have and you haven't for a long time. It's a very good soap. He tends to make very good sense too. And he's still there. He's not going anywhere. And so I just wanted to let people know, if you see a lot of things out of stock, sign up for the mailing list. It'll shoot you an email when he puts more things back on stock. And he does have plans to make more soap. He's not going anywhere. So that's one of the reasons I wanted to show this particular one, to let people know that, hey, he's still there. And I know it's a little frustrating when you go and there's no stock, but I mean, do you have any thoughts on that?
I'm just happy that he's going to be around. That glide base is extremely impressive. Um, then, I try not to go too heavily to always using the expensive bases. It is a bit pricey, but it's flat out good, man. Larry has always been a very good soap maker. His
Hmm.
soap was ahead of the curve, I think, back when he first rose to
Hmm.
popularity, and then he kind of just disappeared. But his soap has always been a top tier, top shelf, upper echelon soap, and now that I
I
found that
agree.
glide, it just shows that he has still been able to evolve with the community, and it's good, man.
This segment is going to be for DK. No, it's not for DK. DK hates it when I bring this up, but I can't help it. I got to do it. This happens to me periodically. So I like the Mule Rocka razor, and there was a gentleman on Instagram who had one. He saw my video, and he said, "Hey, I got this Rocka Extra. Do you want to buy it?" And I said, "Well, I don't need one, but I know a guy that might like it." So I bought it from him, and I had it sent to Jimmy, Jimmy NYC Wet Shaving, because I thought he might like that razor. And the post office lost it.
Oh, brother. Oh, brother.
Anyway, what are you going to do? I mean, it's just one of those things that happens. Uh, it's very frustrating when you send $100 razor and it gets lost. But honestly, what can you say? They get it right most of the time, but when they lose something like that, it hurts, and that's why we talk about it. It's not to jab anybody that works at the post office or to hurt anybody's feeling. Yeah, they lost it, DCS, and he gave me a great price on that razor. Yeah, they said they delivered it, but it never made it to him. They misdelivered it and gone into the ether, and so that's the end of that, more or less. But what are you going to do? We'll move on, but hopefully by next week I have no post office stories. We hope. We'll see. By next show, that is. Okay, let's move on to something positive. Appreciation. We always do an appreciation segment because it's important to appreciate people. And you go first, and you can put in a few people there if you like.
Okay, well, first, I want to show my appreciation uh, for a lot of people, man. Actually, with everything that went on with Rocio these last couple weeks, I've had a lot of people that have reached out, man. Thank you, Robert Kamara. Thank you, Marion the Barbarian, Dave Carter, and then the guys that I speak to on a daily basis, Mike Junior, yourself, Nate, John. Just everybody just kind of keeping up. Seth, forgive me if I forgot anybody, man, but I just appreciate everybody that checked in on us, checked in on me, checked in on my family, offered, if we needed anything. Marion even went so far,
That's
and
funny,
Marion
DK.
and
Go
Marion
ahead. I'm
doesn't
sorry.
like when I completely bring up what he does, man. But he's like, hey, bro, um, when it first went down, he hit me up. He's like, hey, you need me to order you maybe some Uber Eats? I'll get something delivered to your house, bro. Like I got you. What do you need? I'm like, hey, dude, I appreciate it, but my little sister had brought some food and stuff, so we were good. But just going that extra mile, man, just again, and it just
Yeah.
speaks to the relationship that we build here in the community, man. That it just I'll always love it.
Yeah, I'm going to appreciate a few different people for different reasons. And one is, and it's not because of this, but it's just because he's such a nice guy. I've talked to him on the phone. David from Augusta. He sent me, I just received it today, and I'd be remiss if I didn't show it. This is a vintage, it's like a spyglass. That's what it's. This is Old Spice, and it is slab full, 6 ounces worth of old Spice. Woo! And it is legitimately the good stuff, not the new stuff. And it came in this cool box. So this vintage Old Spice, and he's such a nice guy. He's contributed to several channels, and I just wanted to thank you, David. And of course, I love this. It's the old stuff, the good stuff. Also, there's a couple of guys that just come to mind because I haven't mentioned them for a while. Mike Baker, who makes videos about honing, he throws the knowledge out there, and a lot of people may not know who he is. I encourage you to look for Mike Baker. Just Google his channel, like Mike Baker Hones. He has a wealth of information when it comes to honing, and so on. And the other day I reached out to him. I told him I'd like to try his edge, and he was like, send that razor. I'd be happy to do it for you. Just really appreciated that. And another guy too that I reached out to, Dr. Matt 357, who also has such a knowledgeable honing guy. I reached out to him and I'm like, hey, Dr. Matt, I've tried a lot of edges. I'd love to try yours. I'll pay you for your services. And he was like, send me that edge, just really nice. And those guys don't often get mentioned on, this forum or perhaps even in our videos. So I just wanted to let all you guys know that we appreciate you. And of course, everybody here, we appreciate you too. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention all 49 of you right now, and including Low Sense Skeletor, because he's in the crowd right now too. By the way, if you have any questions, go ahead and put them in below and we'll get to them as we get through some of this stuff. What is Junior saying? Some guys are afraid to send edges. Okay, well, we mentioned Low Sense Skeletor, and now's a good time. Let's make sure we plug BBS Live next Thursday, 9 p.m. Central, is it? Or is it? I don't know.
I don't know, Chris. Hold on. We may need to stop plugging BBS Live, because I don't think they've mentioned Real Talk in a month.
They were reposted it. Nate was reposting it today. So he always does.
All right. We'll go ahead and get on then.
They don't mention that. They don't mention us on their show because, we're real talking here. This ain't no BBS just giving away love fest. Something's going on in the Gonzalez household. But anyway, I'm kidding. But anyway, is that 9 p.m. Eastern or no? My 9 p.m. I don't know. Nobody knows Central Time.
Yeah, I can never decide when. They must mention, according to whoever's on BBS Live, I think it's probably Nate.
That's Nate.
They probably mention it in hour 4. I'm usually tuned out after hour 3.
Nate is completely blistered, but he does it by accident. Real talk, So the question was going to be, since we're talking about BBS Live, Nate and Mel, who of course we love, the duo, which I think I saw you use a test version the other day, which I'm calling the do-over. Are we going to be disappointed? Or are we going to get something this time?
I definitely think they're on the right track this time, man. You can actually pick up some nice woodsy notes. You could pick up some smokiness. You could pick up a nice boozy note right when you open up that little container. You kind of hits you with it, man. It's still a little on the light side, which I mentioned in the video, but if they could bump that up a bit, it's definitely going to be a successful, I don't know if you call it relaunch or whatever, but it's going to be damn good. And it's in the great Sago bass, which fucking gives me the warm and fuzzies because I love that bass.
I like it. Yeah, I'm happy to hear that. I want it for them. I want to like it so I can be happy for them as well. Because last time I was just like, I wanted to be happier, but you can't really fake it. I mean, let's be honest. Speaking of Mel, the last show we mentioned that we thought he was gone forever. Since that time, he made one shave video and 57 frag videos.
Hey, Ruben, nice to see you.
I don't know.
Mel is a lost sheep. It brings me great sadness. The only hope for us to see some shaving videos coming up this year is if we actually get Mel hooked on straight razors. He feels it coming. He sees his partner in crime there, Nate, going buck-ass wild with the straights, and I think he's going to jump on the straight train, and he's going to be back in it. We just got to get him hooked again. We got to entertain him. He's a little hyper, and he probably can't focus for too long, so we just need to get him into that straights.
I thought maybe if we put some shave gear or a sink and a mirror in the gym, that maybe he would, take a few minutes to take a shot in the gym there and do a shave video. And then he can run outside and do the frag part of the video and, all that stuff. I don't know. It could work. So related to this, make sure you keep those questions coming. But related to this, when are we going to see Nate, also known, as everybody knows, as Low Sense Skeletor, hit the debut of his YouTube channel? It's got to happen. It's got to happen.
I've been pushing him to do this for some time now.
Yeah, he's ready.
I think he's been ready,
Oh,
but
he's
he is
been ready.
dead set against it. He wants to stay just doing the live shaves, which I enjoy the live shaves a whole bunch.
Mhm.
On the Lather and Blade Facebook group, join the Facebook group if you haven't already. But yeah, I don't know. It needs to happen. It's well overdue. Same thing with Sefferton Shaves. Well,
That's
we
right.
need those YouTube channels. I think they're going to change the YouTube game. He looks like Nate could be confused as your younger, thin little brother. And, we can get this going.
Yeah, we need that. I think it's the shot in the arm that we need right now in these times where it's difficult. People are divided. The one thing that could bring us back together is some low scent Skeletor. I'm telling you, that would be really a positive thing. And, I hope to see it. And DCS says yes, that he should be doing that. What are some of your favorite gear the last couple of weeks since the last show, things you really loved?
Well, my shave today reminded me how much I love that Lancaster brush. It is just a
That's a
perfect
pretty brush.
size. That knot, the way it's set, it's just damn good. I think functionally, and the aesthetics are great too. But just the function of that brush is my favorite brush. It's fucking great. I've been trying so many different razors though, because I had Marion send me a bunch of edges. Latherhawk sent me a razor to hone. So I haven't got to get in love with anything right now. Just been trying things, but that brush today, it was a reminder of how damn good it is.
Anything else? Any soap or razor? Anything that stood out?
I'm really impressed. I just actually got this in from Seth. He sent this in for me to use. I'm really impressed with the look and the finish of this Razor Rock Game Changer.
Yeah,
It is
yeah,
just, I
it's
mean,
not
the
bad.
Lupo, forgive me, not the Game Changer, the
Lupo.
Lupo.
Yeah, it's quite good.
It's just
I
so
like it.
goddamn good looking. Just, it's not a big fall off from the premium offerings, man. It is just so good. I liked the redesign they did on the head a little bit. They changed it up. It looks good, man. It's just damn good. I'm really, really impressed with this razor. The polish, if they stepped up the polish a little bit better, it would be up there with any premium razor that there is on the market. And it's just
So,
damn good and look forward to using it.
so I want everybody where the question is also when you're busy asking questions, which we will get to. Also, give us the name you think Nate's channel should be when he launches it. Like, for example, something that spoke to me was Low Scent Skeletor's Shaving Sanctum. Sounds good. I think that
That's a
would be
whole
a
lot
killer.
going on.
What's that?
Oh yeah, that's a whole lot going on that name. And yeah, Mel, I still use DEs. They kind of fall to the wayside because of the honing, because honing is kind of taken over the hobby for me.
Yeah.
So because I'm always testing out edges, I haven't been able to use my DEs as much, but I do enjoy them anytime I'm able to get them fit in, man.
Do you think we could get Frank to do some Instagram live on honing tips and demos? Because
Frank
he's
Lisa or
here.
which Frank?
Yeah, Frank, he's here.
Oh, he actually has done it before.
Yeah, I've
He
seen him honing on stones before. It'd be nice. I would love to see that because I know Frank. He's always here to support the show. He's been good to both of us. So I have asked him a few questions, but I haven't talked to him at length about honing. But I think it would be. I like his edges, so I'd sure be interested in getting some of that knowledge. Um, let's see. Oh, one of the things, and this is just well, I didn't even talk about my favorites. We got favorites. Actually, this is one of them, which I already talked about. This one it was so good. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. But
I agree.
also,
Really good.
I got to say, Blackland razors. I've tried lately the Vector, the Blackbird, the Saber. It'd been some years since I'd really used Blackland razors, and I must say I have really enjoyed using them the last couple of weeks. Very, very nice. And thank you to Oive for getting them to me for such a great price. This one is just fantastic. The Blackbird. Now I will say, when I first used this about 5 years ago, he sent me a beta version. It was kind of sharp around the edges, and I
I
never
remember you
bought it.
saying that.
I never bought it because I liked the shave, but it wasn't refined. It was a little short, but now it's really a really good shaving razor and very, very nice. So I really love that a lot. So
I agree with
that's
you. I'm not a fan of the handle though. I really dislike the handle.
I kind of like it.
Not
It
the
goes with
looks
the
of it.
razor.
Oh, the looks of it is great. The use of it, especially when I'm going against the grain, it's a bit slippery. I don't like the practicality of it. The looks of it's great. I don't like the feel in my hand, but it's a
Yeah,
great razor.
feels good. Feels good to me. This is just a comment I kind of wrote down, and I wanted to see what you thought about it. I would like to see some of the artisans who are pushing the envelope on formulas, like reformulating a lot. What I would really love is to see a classic line. So for that artisan, they can continue to push for reformulation 27, at will and as they see fit. But I would love to see them establish a classic line in which they still put new scents into, but it is just their sort of base classic formula that comes at a good price, old reliable. You know what I mean? Like, so let's just use Ariana and Evans as an example. 2 formulas back. Let's say that's his classic line. And when he releases soaps, he has it in the new formula with the Super Blue Emu and the Chupacabra oils and all that. But he also has the classic formula, the good old steady standby at a good budget price, or not budget because budget means any amount of money, but a good value. I would love to see the artisans who are reformulating lots establish a classic line, but I don't want them to only put like their sort of 5 cents and say that's the classic line. No, when you make a new soap, make the new scent in the classic line and the Chupacabra oil line. You know what I mean? What do you think?
Um, I like the idea. I like the concept. I could understand though how hard that would be to keep up with the demand for some of them, especially some of the more popular artisans. I imagine it'd be a bit of a struggle for somebody like Heather, who this duo over. It may not be released till March. How long has it been already since the original release? It's gonna be a 5-6 month turnover for the new one to come out when she
Mm-hmm.
already had the base set. So you can only imagine the type of workload that is for somebody like for Ariana and Evans,
Right.
Zingari, to be able to keep up with 2 formulas that way.
Well, like
I
for
like the
example,
concept of it, but I'm sure it's hard.
Douglas has CK6 and his CK. Now he's a full timer, and I think I would be shooting for full timers like Pete, people like that. Classic line, I think that would be fantastic because keep in mind, not everybody is can drop down a lot of money on the most expensive soaps of the day all the time, and maybe they get a few more and maybe they enjoy the hobby a little more because things are a bit more affordable for them. Otherwise, they probably will just choose the things that fit within their budget, but they might not have a chance to try the brands if the price keeps creeping up and the formulation keeps creeping up. That's sort of my point is that, like, for me, I'm very, very happy with the way Sterling does it. I don't have to hear about a ton of reformulations just because for me, it's just not that necessary. However, I do recognize that you get some incremental improvement. I would just love to see some options for people who don't have a lot of scratch, and which would allow them to buy a few more soaps.
Oh yeah,
Thoughts?
in a perfect world, I agree with you. But I think it's probably difficult, or maybe the knowledge isn't out there, or the information isn't out there on how to be able to upscale your production the way that Douglas has, to where he has time to be able to do that in both times.
Yeah.
Because like I know for a lot of the artisans, even some of the other full timers, they're still cooking out of like pots
Yeah,
and
that's true.
induction burners.
Hmm.
I could be wrong, but I think this is correct. Douglas has like big like industrial mixer type size stuff. So he has figured out how to scale up his production, which makes his time more efficient. So I just think if artisans, and we know how artisans like to keep everything secret, if
Mm-hmm.
more artisans were willing to teach other artisans how to scale up their production like that, then I think we can start expecting things like that. But I know it's hard when they're cooking
Yeah.
pot pans and crock pots, you know?
Yeah, that's very fair. And again, that kind of comment comes from somebody who's obviously not in the business, but that's just perfect world what I would like to see.
I agree with you,
Moving
though.
moving along, because we call it like we see it. And look, Pete from A&E, we've both broken bread with him. He's a friend of ours, but we don't cut Pete slack. Will Pete ever release another traditional shaving soap, original again? Or is it going to be retread and new formulas? Will we see a new formula in 2021? Or excuse me, a new scent?
Oh, I think we absolutely will. I think that's the part of the whole process that Pete really enjoys. But I think he also understands that his initial runs of stuff and how much of, like, say, a fragrance oil that he's purchasing doesn't go far enough that everybody that wants it. So I appreciate him making that effort to make sure that everybody gets it if they want it. You know, we've had those complaints in the past about somebody like Mammoth with their limited runs and it's hard to get. I like the idea of artisans making stuff as
Mhm.
long as it is wanted.
Yeah, yeah.
So, you know, A&E, Pete, he has a very vocal fan base, and they ask for what they want, and he gives it to them.
Retreads.
Yeah, they love those
They love those
5-year-old
retreads.
fans and the new formula, and so I can't get mad at him for
No, I'm
appeasing
not mad at him.
his
No.
crowd, you know. But
But look,
I
let's
know
be
Pete
honest.
loves the creation of it,
I was hearing
and he
about
will.
melon and what is that? Melon and what was the name of that soap?
Mimosa,
Yeah,
and melon.
mimosa and melon. And I was 47 when I started hearing about that. Now I'm 50. And I'm like, Pete, where's the mimosa and melon or melon and mimosa or Milli Vanilla, whatever it is? Where is it? I want it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Give us the mimosa. No, I'm just kidding. I thought it'd be interesting to air that out there and then hear Pete give me a hard time later on. So sorry, Pete. Let's see. Another thing I wanted to mention to you. I've been using this, especially in 2021, a lot of international products like creams from all over. Today I used a soap from the Ukraine. And what I have noticed is it's all good. It's rare for you to find a bad product. And some of them, what I really like about some of the European soaps, no fuss, no muss. It lathers easily. You don't have to worry about anything. It's just like I don't know, it's like an old comfortable sweatshirt or hoodie. You just go and it works, and you don't have to bring beakers and chemistry equipment into your bathroom to lather. And I have really been appreciating just like the tube creams, and I don't know, there's just something nice about the simplicity of it sometimes, and sort of getting away from 12 butters in the soap and just using something simple, or at least I've just been enjoying it myself. Wanted to get your thoughts on it.
Um, I think because I don't care about me, it's all about the amount of money I'm spending. I don't pay attention to all the butters. I don't pay attention to labels very often. I've never really been about reading labels. I don't give a shit. I don't care if it's
Mm-hmm.
all natural. I don't care if there's preservatives in that shit. I don't care. As long as it gives me a lather that I enjoy using. I like that density. I like that creaminess. That's what, as long as it delivers on that, I don't care about what
That's a
the
good point.
ingredient list is. Uh, you know, I just want to have fun with the soap. And so I gravitate towards the soaps that I know are enjoyable for me to use, whether those be American, European, Australian, or Antarctica. I just want some shit that I like.
Yeah, I've just been trying different things. People recommend, hey, try this soap from here. And I got one from the razor company from the Ukraine. And I was like, hey, let's try that. So I've been seeking out some of these other products to see if I can really tell a difference between the stuff that is marketed very heavily here in the US. And by and large, I cannot in terms of the shave. I get a great shave all the time, pretty much, no matter what I use. And so that's a good thing. I think sometimes the promise of the Uber formula, just for me, I don't find that it makes that much difference. The shave comes out the same almost every single time. And that, for me, is what makes the difference. I just want to have a good time and a good shave. And, that's sort of where it ends for me. Let's look
Absolutely.
at some of the questions here. Let's see. Question numero uno. How's that new JNet working for you, David?
Oh man, it's been so much fun. Um, it's a process though. It takes fucking forever. So how I've had this thought, like I don't know how these guys that are professionally honing, how they keep up with demand when these damn JNATs take fucking forever to use. It's enjoyable. It's a lot of fun, but I just don't see how this 2 hour process is worth it financially for some of these guys. But it's been a blast. I've been changing things up here and there in the progression, and I think I'm getting some good ass edges. I got some edges that I need to test this weekend, and I'm looking forward to it.
Now, when you say good arse edge, what does that mean exactly?
Well, first off, I didn't say arse. I said ass. And, man, just sharp, comfortable, no tuggy.
Well, it's got to be the SBT2.
We have eliminated the tuggy. Oh, and just real quick, because you brought up BBS Live, I seen Nate was trying to correct me on some information. That he said it's only been 2.5 months since the last Duo soap was released. Yes, but you also told me that it's probably not going to release till end of February or March. That means one screw up, and it's going to be in April, and that's going to be 6 months. So, I said 5-6 month turnaround for the next soap. I'm pretty much spot on. Thank you.
Nate said his channel would be called Nipples RS. I veto that name for what it's worth.
Hey,
By the
best
way,
nipples in wet shaving. I'm kind of good with it.
send your questions in if you have any, or comments. A comment is good too. Says, we discussed having a Canadian mafia, I can't read, a roundtable discussion show. Thoughts? Why not? Do it. Just make sure. The only advice is pick an evening that's not already scheduled. I mean, I think a lot of us would be in if it's not, for me, not too late, but I love it. I love it.
And don't let Josh Chihuahua get on that goddamn show. Everybody else is fine. Don't put fucking Josh Chihuahua.
That's good stuff. Good stuff. Let's see. Sepperton says, shout out to Latherhog, who's almost at 1,000. Follow if you don't already. Thank you. Yes. Follow Jonathan Latherhog. Put him at that 1,000 magic number. He's a great guy. Thank you, Sepperton, for reminding us. We appreciate that. Let's see. Well, we already asked that question. I apologize. So do you really want to see LSS, meaning low scent Skeletor? Do you really want to see LSS use unscented soap in every video? Well, I mean, if he likes it, that's really all that matters. I mean, you use whatever you like on your video. It's your shave, do it your way, as we like to say, or I like to say. I don't have any problem with that. The Chronic Shaver says, bootylicious. Bootylicious. Okay.
What the fuck is that? Alejandro, isn't that Alejandro Martin? What the fuck is that? Holy shit. I'm sorry, right now, if you're one of Chris's subscribers on his YouTube channel, forgive the language, but have you lost your goddamn fucking mind there, Alejandro? Buttylicious, you fucking weirdo.
Am I going to get a refund for my free duos? So that's, I sent that, so I gave mine away because I didn't care for it. And he's like, hey, do I get a refund because it was given to me and he doesn't like it even though it was given to him? So, he wants a refund for a soap he didn't pay for. That's how much he didn't like it. Oh, that's good stuff. He says Nate's channel should be bald and sexy. Ooh, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Autocorrect. Oh no, sexy.
No,
he plays the saxophone. That's right. Good thinking there, sweet baby Ray.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I didn't know that was sweet baby Ray there. So sorry, Ray. Didn't know the name there. I'd like to see U.S. artisans making triple milled soap in the U.S. Ooh, it would be great, but I don't think most U.S. artisans have the equipment to make a triple milled soap. I think that requires a little more than what most have personally, but I don't know. I mean, you guys can tell me, soap makers.
I don't even know what the process is for a milled soap. So could somebody fill me in on that first and foremost, and then I'll start requesting that shit.
My understanding is it's milled and then squeezed, and then it goes through another machine, milled, squeezed. You know,
What the fuck
it's
is what does milled mean?
it's put through a machine. I'll find you a video for it. It shows how it's processed. And yeah, Melody says you can't do it without the right equipment. And so it's not an easy thing, I don't think. Shaving Marvel says Nate's channel should be called Castle Bauermeister. Okay, it's possible.
It sounds like some vampire shit.
I know you like the I know you like the vampire themes.
I
Being
do.
your the dream about slaying with Buffy and so on and so forth.
That was an excellent dream. You laughed, but it was great.
It's pretty funny, to be honest with you. Yeah, Kim Gray's right. It goes through rollers. It pushes the air out. You have to have machinery to do it, and then it becomes very hard. And honestly, some of those triple milled soaps, I think they'll be around 100 years from now. I mean, they just seem to hang around. Let's see. We got some more here. Sud Slinger says, do you think there's something missing content-wise in the wet tape shaving YouTube space? I don't know. I don't know. What do you think, David?
I would love to see more blacksmithing based
Ooh,
on shaving products. I think straight razor shaving has had a big surge this past year. I would love to see more of these custom razor makers really show us the nuts and bolts of it all,
yeah.
and just let us see everything. Charlie Lewis, I think, has a damn near 2 hour YouTube video on when he forged a blank and completely formed a razor. I would love to see, even if it's just little snippets of the process and what you go through and making the scales and doing the pinning and all that stuff. I would
That's
love to
pretty
see
cool.
it. I would never get tired of it. I would want somebody to do that.
Yeah, I would like to see, I think, more. I mean, obviously, because we're interested in honing, and like what I would really like to see is when people are using microscopes and they're using loops, if there's a way to show what you're looking for in the loop, or what looks bad versus what looks good. I know Doug Bear has done some of that, but I know a lot of times when people are looking, they don't know what they're looking for. And some content, showing this looks good, this doesn't look good. I think that would be helpful personally. Let's see. I don't know. I don't know if Mastro is still
I
going.
have not heard anything from Mastro Levy in probably 5 years, dude. Somebody, you know what? I bet you somebody would probably know. Whatever straight razor place is now, I think they changed the name. But those guys were all very in touch with all the old school razor makers. Somebody from that uh, Facebook group, maybe even the shaving cadre, one of those guys. There seem to be a lot of real traditionalist shavers, old school guys. They would probably have some information on that.
Phil says Dr. Matt shows that very well, and he does. I'd just like to see more of that. But he has a high power microscope that most regular folk aren't going to have. So, he really takes beautiful shots. Nate's channel should be I'm too chicken to shave my dome with a straight, and that would be my channel too, because I'm not doing that. I know my limits. Part of technique
Man,
is knowing
Marion did that
your limits.
shit, and he barely knew how to straight razor shave. You guys can do it.
Marion is a maniac, though. Don't let that mild mannered stuff fool you, because Marion, there's a Hulk in there. Let's see. Any great video resources on scaling razors? That's a great, great question, because I haven't seen many. I haven't seen many, honestly.
That video that I was saying that of Charlie Lewis, when he was doing the whole razor from beginning to end, he has one on. That's part of the whole process. Oh man, there's a razor making. I think James Stark. I think he may have a video on scaling a razor. Uh, Fuck, maybe Razor Emporium. I'm not sure, but there are a few, but nothing consistent. And again, they're kind of one-offs. You don't see them again.
Kim says, what plate would you compare the Rockwell to the Twig? I don't know, Kim. I would be inclined to say maybe 3, 4. I'm not sure, to be honest with you. Let's see. Up for Shave Dave with positivity. Thank you, Dave. Thank you for everything for the community. We appreciate that, Dave, as we appreciate you as well. Who loves me more, Chris or David? I do, Shady. You know this. You know this. I love you more. Everybody knows that.
Chris loves you more.
Let's see if we have anything else. By the way, I think somebody has a release coming up, or had one that you had. Did I see on your channel today a release?
Oh yeah,
New release?
Moon Soaps, man. Moon Soaps, you know, I get the warm
Who's
and
Moon?
fuzzies
Have we heard of
anytime.
Moon? Yeah, I think we
Moon
have.
Soaps. They have a soap release. Beautiful label designed
Very
by
nice.
Zach.
Very nice.
They do a great job, man. It's in their shaving cream base, which for me is just a really soft shaving soap, but you know, that's neither here nor there. But it's just so goddamn fun to lather. It's great to use, and it's a strong scent.
It looked nice. That's a Moon Soaps makes terrific soaps. They're really hard to avoid because they make really great soaps. And I look forward to trade wins because I love that bar soap. I hope they make that one. This one I'll certainly check out at some point as well. They make great soaps. And David, I appreciate your caring in that video for the Chief, Jack, Ken. You're carrying that outpouring of emotion, brotherhood. Very good, my friend. Very good.
Man, I just said that it ain't gonna be a shock if Ken don't do videos no more because that shit the shave videos burn out a lot of people.
It burns out a lot of people. Yeah, there's no doubt.
Burns out a lot.
There's no doubt. Trade wins is next. Hey, that's great. That's great. Let's see if we have anything else.
Hey, what is the scent profile of trade wins?
Goodness. Scenty goodness. Hope everybody in their family stays healthy and safe through it all. Thank you, Dave. Yours as well. I don't know, honestly. Melody can tell you. It smells great. I had the bar soap. It lasted a long time. Like, I don't know. It seemed to be, maybe it didn't have as much air and water in it, but I used it in the shower and it was what seemed like a month. It was very nice. To me, maybe it was aquatic. I don't know. It was nice. I'll put it to you that way. I think you would like it. Really, really nice, I think. Tobacco and bay and lime. See, you can't miss with that one, David. I mean, that sounds good.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that at all.
Yeah, that just sounds it sounds good to me anyway. Anyway, I think we have come to the end of the line here. I really appreciate everybody. I know David does too. Do you have any parting words? Well, we have 3 more, so we don't want to skip on out before we have a chance to. Andre says, thank you for putting out great and very enjoyable content. Thank you, Andre. And by the way,
appreciate you, Andre.
At some point in the near future, I'm glad you reminded me. I don't know when, but we hope to see these again soon. I love mine. You got one, David, don't you? Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I do. Junior set me up with it. Hey, I think we got to talk to Andre about making the official shave brush of Real Talk.
Oh, yeah. But anyway, these are really good, and I use mine every day. I saw mine first, DK, so give DK credit. I saw mine. I made a video. I was like, I love this thing. You know, it just wicks the moisture off your face. I love it. It's a great towel. So thank you, Andre. We appreciate your kind words, and we wish you much success. Sweet Baby Ray says, how do you think we can get more young people in the community? One of the things we can do to get more young people in the community is stop poo-pooing everything that's modern or crapping on people who use cart razors or, you know, those who sort of straddle the line between traditional and modern. I think cracking on people because they use a certain type of gear is off-putting. Nobody likes that. And I think if we stop being old men and start embracing people, that will help. David.
I think we need some younger YouTubers. I think we need to get some younger content creators. I think that's going to attract a younger crowd. I started when I was a young YouTuber, and now that I'm 33 years old, there's a lot of guys my age that have now come up in the community, said, hey, I started out watching your videos. People want to see people that look like them. Mm-hmm. And I don't mean that race plays a part in that too. Hispanic people are going to feel welcome seeing a Hispanic person shaving, but young people want to see young people doing what they're doing, and I think that's going to make it much more welcoming for them. So we need some younger YouTubers and content creators here on the ground.
It's going to take Ray 47 years before he looked like you. So I don't know if that's ever going to happen. I mean, Ray's a handsome young cat, so I don't know if he's going to catch up with you.
I don't know. He likes to drink, dude. So he may age more rapidly than you think.
Who makes the best bath soaps? Oh, that's a great question. I'll tell you, the two best that I've tried recently, Moon soaps, and I actually bought the tangerine one from Sterling. What I liked about both was they both lasted a long time, and the scent lasted the whole time. I have had bar soaps before where you get a little ways into them and the scent is gone. And so Moon and Sterling were the best that I've used in the last number of months, I would say. David?
I actually haven't used very many artisan bath soaps. I think in the 8 years that I've been doing this, I think I've used Sterling, I've used Moon soaps, and then I've used one other one. I'm more of a body wash guy. You know, nothing. Rocio likes the bar soaps. I'm more of a body wash dude. So I really can't answer.
All right, let's see. Send prayers for Ernie, excuse me, sorry about that. Baraga of Shaving Yeti was involved in a horrible car accident. Yeah,
Shit.
Gonzo, we certainly wish Ernie the best. Anybody who's in harm's way or family's ill, sending good vibes to Bernie. Thoughts and prayers with him and his family. Yeah, we hope he recovers well. Also, CB from CB Shaves got in a very bad accident. Fortunately, he's okay, but he was in quite a bad accident about a week ago and showed his card. Kim actually sent it to me, and they're recovering well, but they really took a tough crash there. So just be careful and be safe, folks. I think now, unless David has something else, I think we'll bring it to a graceful close. I hope.
Oh no, I'm good to go, man. Everybody have a great weekend. Stay safe, man.
All right, thanks everybody. We really appreciate you. Please stay safe. We hope to see you here again in 2 weeks or the week after next. Let's put it that way. Don't forget BBS Live with Mel and Nate coming up next Thursday night at whatever time Central, because nobody knows Central Time except for the people in Central Time. Thank you so much. We appreciate you all. God bless.